Welcome back to Lemmings to the Tribes. We're about a quarter on the way done with the game, and barring a couple of levels here and there, some of you might say we've had an easy journey so far. Well, I think the medieval tribe is the first tribe where I think the difficulty level is a little bit more consistent in overall, barring a couple of spots here and there. We're gonna take you back to the past, where we just have a whole bunch of bows and jetpacks? Come on, that's not medieval, get out of here. However, most tribes always start up with the introductory level, which is pretty easy, and this tribe is of course no exception. Although the middle part of the level kinda throws a wrench in your way, but it's an interesting one because there's definitely a whole lot of ways in order to get through it. This may not be the Egyptian tribe anymore, but rest assured, Sand Pourer is definitely gonna get us some more milestone into this tribe. So here's the curious swing. I really did not do a proper showcase of it in the first level of Outdoors because we never really had a time in order to use it, but yeah, just keeps flying until you either force the lemming down to the ground or until he hits a wall. Until then, he usually just flies in a straight line until he hits something or until you just steer him around with the fan. A pretty efficient flying skill that has a lot of versatility. And yeah, now all of our lemmings are just armed with swords. It's too bad that the lemmings don't really have anything to whack on the head with them or something, because it's not as if the lemmings have enemies. Oh, never mind, I guess they had some enemies into that one game, Lemmings Revolution, where somehow a whole bunch of weasels wanted them dead or something. Yeah, it's about as weird saying that than it is to hear it, but yeah, somehow your big nemesis into the Lemmings universe were weasels. With that said, the medieval tribe sure love these cap locks.
Sir, I kid you not!
And it's too bad that we have this epic sounding name on a level that unfortunately is pretty easy. I'm probably sure that this level could have been put even earlier into the tribe. This could have easily been level 1, but for some reason it's level 2. And why is it level 2? Because now you have to use your Sand Pourers in order to make it across a wall. So here's the big difficulty, but even then it's not really hard. We've had some opportunities in level 1 in order to master the Sand Pourer. Now it's time to take it to the next level by pouring way too close to the wall and cancelling the whole thing. This is also where you notice that the lemmings in this game really don't have as good jumping abilities than they did in the first game. And by jumping, I mean whenever they're climbing up to a ledge which is supposed to be much higher than them, usually the lemmings will do like a little jumping motion in order to reach up the above platform, but on this one lemming, their skills in order to do that is fairly minimal, so most of the time you're gonna have to be pretty leveled up to the ledge that you want to get through. But yeah, apart from the climb over this wall, this level is self-explanatory. It's more of an opportunity for you to get used up to the twister. We've used it in order to dig the final tunnel. I think they intended you like to use a club basher because that's such a gigantic wall that mashing through it with a club seems like the best thing to do. But hey, you can do it whatever way you want. Also, come on, enough with the cap locks already. Also, yeah, look at the skills that we have. We have an exploder. Now, what could possibly be the skill? Why, it's the bomber from Lemmings 1, but yeah, the bomber in this one Lemmings game just drops a bomb to their feet and they will survive the blast, but yeah, that's the good old bomber from Lemmings 1, aka the one where your lemmings die whenever it uses it. And yeah, now we also have catapults. As soon as the lemmings are just leveled up with them horizontally, they're gonna use it. As long as another lemming is not using them, everything is all fun and games until that they die or something. So the reason why we want 2 lemmings over here is that, well, we're gonna need to have one lemming do the very ingrate task of freeing up the way through this wall by making him explode. Yep, remember how come back in the time we will save... oh no! Unfortunately, these exploding lemmings still are subject to blowing other lemmings all around them in any kind of direction. And yeah, if your lemming goes all the way down here, he's beyond salvation. There's just nothing to do. So let's do this again with more feeling. we're gonna start building a stacker way further away so that the bomber or exploder, excuse me, is not gonna blow the other lemming away. The reason why we want a stacker over here is that we're going to build a bridge over that. Oh my god, what the hell happened to water in the medieval era? Was it already that badly infested with like the Black Plague or something? Why does it look so gross? But yeah, the reason the stacker is here, well, you can see it on screen, because our lemmings will just get lost all the way to the left of the level where that dragon fellow is. He's not really offensive or anything, he's not gonna kill lemmings, but your lemmings are sure not escaping the pit that you can find them in. So yeah, the big rule of thumb into Lemmings 2 was, in order to get gold, we had to save all 60 lemmings, but there are levels that just decide to change onto this concept and will allow you to have casualties. And that was the first instance that we had here. Goodbye, first casualty of the game. We'll miss you. Also, here's to level 4 in a series of 4 levels in a row with all caps. It's just like, did people in medieval times just have really bad hearing? So you can probably see where we're going with this level. We're gonna have to glue our way toward that platform over here, but of course we can't really send everyone over there because there's dirty water and we're sure not sending everybody here. But that's okay because we have a skill that is going to help us out with this one aspect, but we need to only send one lemming. So yeah, right now you can already see we blew it. For the beginning part of this level, you have to use, yeah, up to 3 stackers, because 1 stacker in order to make all of the other lemming bifurcate. The first lemming that walks over the stacker also must stack in order to kill time, while the other second lemming that goes forward will also build a wall so that he's gonna be the sole person to go over here. That sounds confusing, but looking at it, it definitely pictures a way easier story. So yeah, somehow in medieval times, well, we now have access to the surfer. I'm surprised that this skill was not in any of the beach levels whatsoever, but yeah, it's a kayak, only though this one is controlled by the fan. There's really no deeper use to this skill or anything, it's just a variant of the skill. It's pretty much here just for the fun value, but all in all, surfer is not really a skill that needed to exist in the game. And that's how we finish the level. We have to glue from this one part, because otherwise, if you try to glue from the left, you can see that the ledge that is leading over the giant pool of death water, or whatever it is, the platform is much thicker, so therefore you couldn't have glue to stick off this entire platform and go all the way to the other side, because the other side is much thinner, that allows us to make the bridge properly. But yeah, apart from the first 2 levels, and even then the first level was kind of difficult in a certain way. Also, I just skipped here because I did not want people like to wait a whole bunch for those 3 other lemmings. Oh my god, stop with the shouting already! King Archer's Lemmings! We will scream until you scream! I scream! So here's to a level that is much trickier than it seems, because here's a problem with Club Basher. If there's not something to bash with your giant club immediately next to the lemming, he's gonna stop, so we're gonna need to artificially create some ground in order to destroy. So the bomber is our way forward, and here we go. With the tiny little bit of ground that we have here, he's gonna keep going until the very end. And now we're just playing like some sort of medieval guitar, and we have such graceful dancing over here. It's good to see that the attractor skill continue being pretty interesting from tribe to tribe. There's always a little bit something extra just in order to make things more interesting for each passing tribe. So the big problem that we have for the end of the level is that the ground down here is unsafe to land on because it's way too deep, so therefore we're gonna have to use our last 2 bombers in order to dig away so that the fall is not gonna be as big. But how are we going to do it? Because that one block here looks like steel. Or does it? Yeah, I swear that this thing is just misleading on purpose. Just like, that looks like indestructible. Also, oops, I lost a couple of lemmings because I freed my attractor way too early, but yeah, just for the sake of it, we're just gonna have a look at the screen just in order to see what kind of medal we're gonna have. Ah, you got a grade A for merit. Good on you. You actually did okay, but you still gonna have a silver medal regardless. Essentially, you get this message: if you let 3 lemmings die while there was a way in order to save them. So we're going to do things again, but properly. Our bomber did not kill himself due to fall damage, and now everybody is just gonna, yeah, they're just gonna break their legs before celebrating in a triumphant fashion. Now that is a gold successful standard rescue attempt, or whatever they want. Oh my god! A level that doesn't have cap lock! Excuse me, I'm too excited. I have to end this update right now. Holy shit, they did it! No cap lock! No cap lock!